The wormy chestnut can stand the test of time, 200 years or more. Not all the beams in this classic old cabin survived.
It's very apparent that, this is definitely a rotten log. It's had some bad wind damage. This whole log is going to have to be replaced.
With all of the trash wood finally removed, Charlie is ready to talk with the building's owner about how the crew can rebuild the cabin in another location, using the original beams to create something brand new that looks like it's very old.
What we're going to do now is we got it down where I think my customer can visualize this a little better. He can see kind of, what we want to do. You guys can come inside.
Every time Charlie walks into one of these old cabins, his imagination takes flight. What was it really like back then?
I wonder how tired that guy was when he was building this cabin. When he got it all done, I wonder how much he enjoyed sitting in front of his fireplace and, eating dinner in here. And I kind of wonder what he eat. How do you survive?
This is why Charlie drives 10 hours to get here. There are few places anywhere on the planet that have this kind of inventory of historic wood that Daniel has on his lot. For the job he's working on now, the customer is very particular about what he wants. Something historic, something rare, and something that looks very, very nice.
Here's a bunch of different posts. They're wanting 10 by 10s, so right there's almost a 10, that would be a 10 by 10. So, what would happen is we'd measure this thing. So it's 19 foot 1 inches. If our customer wanted a 19-footer, 18-footer, 16-footer, it worked, but usually how it is, there's a whole pile of them here, it's probably 19 foot long. Our customer would want a 20-footer, so, we wouldn't be able to use none of these.
It seems everywhere Charlie turns in this place, there's something he wants. He's like a kid in a rustic old candy store on an Amish Christmas day. Beams with notches, forget it.
So like my customer wouldn't want this beam because they wouldn't want to see all those notches.
Craftsmen coming up with strange size requests. Maybe there's something here.
A lot of times our customers, they'll want an odd shaped beam. The problem with a lot of these custom orders is there's some architect sitting at his desk and he's drawing up weird numbers. Like I want a 5.5 by 8. So this beam right here is an 8 by 12. It's kind of, a lot of times the beams are square. That one's more of a rectangle shape. So that's a cool piece right there. I mean, you can imagine it'd make a nice mantle. Or when I see that beam, I see something that would make a nice ridge. So you could put that beam up, and when you cut your rafters, you'd have a nice ridge that would work on this beam right here.
In one stack of centuries-old timber, Charlie finds a little pot of gold. A special mystery piece of wood. Just as old as the others, but a lot different.
See, I think this is a really cool piece here. This is a hewn like a lot of my customers like, but, when I look at this piece of wood, I wonder what went on with this one, because if you see this piece of wood, it's extremely smooth, and it's got this bead on the edge of it. So probably, this beam could have been old where it was never machined. This one could have been hand hewn, and they used to take little hand planers and plane them down smooth, and it's pretty cool. They made a bead. This one probably come out of a house. I never seen one smoothed out like that in a barn. And they took a little tool and made this little bead on the side of it. It's probably all hand done. Some of your customers is picky. If you look down this beam and you get to the end down here, it's got what we call wane on it.
There's another piece of backwoods craftsmanship that Charlie sees here that he doesn't find often. Something called the wane of the tree. That some folks don't find as attractive as the hand-hewn look. But then again, some folks do.
Yeah, so you can see right here, you can see where they've hewed this out. This is kind of the heart of the tree. And that wane's what I'm saying is the round part where the bark was. You could see this tree's basically been hewed in half. If this is a round tree and they was squaring it up, the beam that they used right there wasn't quite big enough, so it's showing a little. It's not square, it kind of rounds off and it's not as pretty. Some people like it, some people don't like it. It just depends on your customer. So like, let's say we come to a beam like this one and my customers are not gonna like all those notches in it. But let's say I've got an order and I need See, this side of the beam's pretty. So if I need a 3-inch piece, so like if this side, and that side shows a three side show, I can cut this down to like a 3x6. So on my cut sheet, if I've got a beam order that says, hey, I need a 3x6 by 8 foot, I can say, oh, well, this one will work. So what we'd do is pull these nails out and saw this beam. We'd rip it right in two right here.
For Charlie, he only wants beams that are memorable and catch this cabin builder's wandering eye.
Look at this beam here. It's kind of rounded. You know, to me, that beam, it doesn't have a lot of character. It's not pretty. I wouldn't want that one hanging in my house. So, like, I would cull that one. I wouldn't use that one. Yeah, see, that one's not too pretty at all. To me, that beam's not sexy at all.